Today we're testing our virtual reality training simulation that has an interactive story driven by artificial intelligence. My name is Stephen Ware. I'm a professor of computer science at University of Kentucky, and I run the Narrative Intelligence Lab.
Welcome aboard, officer. Please pick up your paperwork from the desk.
This is an HTC Vive Pro. It's a virtual reality headset. The way it works is it's showing slightly different images to your left and right eye to create the illusion of depth. And if you look up in the corner, you'll see these transmitters. They're sending out a signal that the headset is receiving so that when you tilt your head or walk forward or backwards, it changes the image and makes you feel like you're really inside the virtual world.
Hi, my name is Ian Thurman. I'm a detective with the University of Kentucky Police Department. I've been with the department for almost 5 years, but I have over 20 years in law enforcement.
This project was funded by 2 different awards from the National Science Foundation. The core thing we're exploring is structured interactive narrative generation. And we picked the application of police training because it felt very relevant to social problems that we're having right now in this country. There's a big tension between police officers and the communities that they are serving. We could have done any application of intelligent training. The hope is that maybe we'll be able to repair some of the tension that currently exists between police officers and their communities. This scenario was developed in conjunction with the University of Kentucky Police Department. They sent to us one of the people that runs their role-playing exercises for de-escalation training, and this is based off of a real experience that she had. She walked us through the way it actually went in real life and also a lot of other alternative ways that it could have gone. And she told us about the best practices that she tries to teach by running that.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Officer Thurman with UK Police Department.
Hello.
I've stopped you for speeding. Can I see your license, please?
Here you go.
Okay, wait right here. I'm going to go check a few things. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Someone who doesn't have a lot of experience will come in, and the first time they'll play, they'll see the driver, they'll take the driver's license, and they will just print the traffic ticket, or maybe they'll let the driver off with a warning, and then the driver drives off, and you find out, oh no, something went wrong, like the driver was in danger. And then the next time around, you play it and you realize, oh, there's a restraining order. The driver has a restraining order or a protective order against someone. And at this point, if you're following best practices, you should be thinking to yourself, I wonder if the passenger in the car is that person. Maybe the passenger is the person named on that restraining order.
Specifically in domestic violence situations in Kentucky, I just can't turn around and leave. I've got to investigate. My name is Lieutenant McPherson, Robert McPherson. I've been a police officer for 34 years now at the University of Kentucky.
An active restraining order against Riley Reed. Hello, sir.
Hello.
You heard my name is Officer Thurman. I'm with the UK Police Department. Sir, can you tell me what your name is?
I'm not giving it to you.
Can I see your identification?
I didn't do anything.
Kentucky, you're not required to produce identification. We're not required to carry identification just as you're going about your business. Now, you've got to have a driver's license if you're actually operating the vehicle. But if I come up and ask you as a passenger, hey man, let me see your driver's license please, or some identification please, they don't have to give it to me.
Even when it turned to a person that may have had a restraining order against them and I was suspicious that it could be that person and they were like, no, they're not going to cooperate, a couple different avenues that I could have taken, and I explored those, and I had that ability to do so. I could see what one direction would take me, what another direction would take me.
The AI that controls the virtual characters is generating thousands of possible trajectories to figure out what makes the most sense. It considers what actions are actually possible and what actions characters believe are possible, and even what they believe others believe are possible. And then it's also reasoning about which actions achieve each character's goals. Then they're reasoning about 3 really basic emotions. They think about which actions achieve their goals, and we call that hope. They think about how actions of others might prevent their goals, and we call that fear. And then finally, they think about how they can prevent their fears, which we call relief. So for example, if the passenger is named on the protective order, they want to hurt the driver. But they won't do that as soon as the simulation starts because they fear if a police officer sees them commit a crime, they'll get arrested. So the passenger is going to wait until the traffic stop is over, but they're also not going to cooperate because they fear getting arrested if they're identified.
First and foremost, the police officer involved in that situation has got, to be able to control their own emotions and stuff. And it's very easy to get upset and to get aggravated at a situation and really step out of bounds sometimes with things that you say, or try to coerce that person into, cooperating with you.
One of the bad options is you can pull your gun and force the passenger to hand over their license. That's one of the situations where the simulation goes south really fast.
So I think it's important for that officer to begin and maintain that level of de-escalation.
The quickest way to reduce tensions is tell them who you are and why you're doing what you're doing.
The good endings in the simulation are all achieved by talking to people. So originally the passenger is belligerent, the passenger is not cooperative, but if you just explain why you're there, why you want the passenger's license, then they will become cooperative and they'll hand you their license.
So ideally what we would do is try to separate them, get the person that we're starting to get the vibe, the feeling that, hey, something's not right here. Talk to that person who we're worried about.
Well, Ms. Condris,
Hello.
can you step out of the car and come talk to me, please?
Okay.
Ms. Condris, I understand you have a restraining order against a Riley Reed. Can you
Yes.
tell me who your passenger is?
One way to build an interactive simulation is just have a bunch of individual characters that each have their own ability to reason. And if you just sort of wind them up and let them loose in a virtual world, that's called an emergent narrative. And emergent narrative is really popular for video games because oftentimes entertainment is your main goal. The danger with emergent storytelling, though, is that you can't necessarily control where the story is going. It's a little bit like herding cats. So with structured story generation, we have specific story beats that need to happen. We might have a specific ending that needs to happen, or the ending might be based on what actions you do. So in a training simulation like this one, if you do the right thing, we want you to get the good ending. If you do the wrong thing, not only do we want you to get a bad ending, but we want you to understand how that wrong action led to that bad ending. And so this means characters can't be acting randomly, right? We need to be foreseeing possible futures and intentionally driving the story down those paths to make sure the story contains the content that we need. There are several features of the state of this simulation that are actually not decided until partway through when you're playing. So for example, if you just take the driver's license and give them the ticket or let them off with a warning, then it will decide, yes, there was a restraining order, yes, the passenger was named on the restraining order, and they had a gun, and so after they drove off, the passenger ended up harming the driver in a domestic violence situation. So maybe now you go back and play it a second time and you think, oh, all right, same situation. The first thing I'm going to do is go arrest the passenger immediately. Well, then it can decide, well, actually, there was no restraining order, or maybe the passenger wasn't named on that restraining order, and now you've arrested an innocent civilian. So by saving some parts of the state and only setting them as needed, we're able to tell the story that we need to tell to illustrate why certain actions are best practices or not. There's lots of training out there, both physical and virtual, for using guns. What we're trying to build here is something different. We're trying to build something that's more like the role-playing exercises that are used to train police officers in de-escalation tactics and in dealing with people where hopefully no guns are going to be involved.
I'm on our de-escalation training unit within our department, and I think that being able to practice scenarios that revolve around de-escalation are invaluable. It's something that we do, and it's something that comes into play in so many different calls that we take.
I'm really excited the things I read and listen to about virtual reality and artificial intelligence. and it'll make you a better police officer, and it'll give you a better outcome.
I'm a big Star Trek fan, and in Star Trek they have this room called the holodeck, where you can create holograms on demand for entertainment, education, training. I really enjoyed working on this project because it's the closest my research has come to the holodeck. I really hope this work can help to lay the foundation for the next generation of intelligent, adaptive storytelling.